Auto insurance can all seem the same until it comes time to use it. So don't get stuck paying more for less coverage. Switch to USAA Auto Insurance and you could start saving money in no time. Get a quote today. Restrictions apply.
USAA. Hilton brings you new ways to stay. With experiences that let you capture the glory days. Introducing the Graduate Hotels. Each inspired by local college towns, these stays are always original and never boring. Get in touch with traditions all across the country and enjoy a stay that's a class above the rest. Book at Graduate Hotels with Hilton Honors Points at Hilton.com. It's a win-win. Hilton, for the stay.
Halliday presents, in the red corner, the undisputed, undefeated Weed Whacker Guy. Champion of hurling grass and pollen everywhere. And in the blue corner, the challenger, extra strength Halliday. Eye drops that work all day to prevent the release of histamines that cause itchy allergy eyes. And the winner by knockout is Halliday. Halliday, bring it on.
From the Fifth Quarter Studio in Madison, Wisconsin, you're listening to the Coaching Youth Hoops Podcast.
They're playing basketball.
Here's our hosts, Steve Collins, and Bill Flitter.
All right, welcome to Coaching Youth Hoops. Coach Collins' voice is a tad better. That's
tad
good.
Better, yeah.
Better.
Good.
Not too
Must
bad.
be winning.
I'm not. We're banged up, but anyway, yeah. And I'm wearing where all my money is going. The Baldwin Wallace College thing in the Middlebury. That's where all my money goes, to those two places. Hope they're spending it well. It's my college is for my kids. Hey, before we jump into the topic, would you like to let's give a big shout out to our sponsor?
Yeah, GameChanger. I'm loving some GameChanger. I just discovered this new feature. It's probably not new to GameChanger, but new to me because I just found it. Highlights. So it does video, it clips
Really?
all like for rebounds to by person. Right. So they can go into the app, click on their name and see all their highlight videos. Automatically does it. Yeah, it's so
That's
cool.
nice. Oh, yeah. Grandma would love that.
Well, even if they're just, like I had someone say to me the other day, I'm like, hey, we should do film review or let's do film review. No, let's do film review. And he's like, oh, I've been going into the app looking at all my highlight videos. I'm like, what? I just discovered that. I'm like, oh, it's great. So, yeah. Again, guys, go to GameChanger, go to gc.com/coaching youth hoops. If you're a youth coach, you need this app, period.
Right. The live stream part too. You didn't even talk about the live stream part where, like grandma can watch it on,
right. She can't make it to the game or right. Or, mom or dad can't make it to the game. They can see it live. They can see the stats live. It records video.
Right. When you're running around with your other kids, it's like you can
right.
I know that's what happens. You quickly.
Absolutely.
All right. So what's today's topic, Coach?
We are going to talk about season end, like wrap up. What do you do? Right. What does it look like for a youth coach to wrap up their season here in the States? We're talking February. So, a lot of youth teams are just ending. And I had a few coaches reach out to me and say, hey, do you have X? What do you do for your team wrap up? So yeah, we're going to dive into what that might look like for you. What do you say to your kids? Do you give them an evaluation at the end of the year? How do you keep them excited about playing between seasons?
Yeah. I mean, I think it depends. Again, coaching youth hoops can be a wide range of levels.
Correct. Right. And ages, right?
And
levels, ages, right? Yeah.
So I think what you're going to do with a third grader and what you're going to do maybe with an eighth grader are going to be different as far as scale goes.
Yeah.
And also, are you coaching their school team? Are you coaching just a rec team? Are you coaching? Sure. So I think there has to be. I've always thought there should be something at the end, some sort of celebration, some sort of, can it be a pizza party, can it be a banquet, whatever it is, some sort of celebration. But again, it changes with the ages, I think, and I don't want to say seriousness, but maybe level or
right,
some of that stuff. But and again, I'm not probably going to sit down with every third grader and talk to them about, but definitely with middle schoolers, when I did my kids, I think it wasn't maybe an official valuation. Eighth grade, I definitely gave them an official one, but here's things you need to work on. Here's things you're good at. Here's, what do you see for yourself in the future? Blah, blah, blah. What do you want to be? What's your, talk about those goals and roles and goals kind of things, I think, moving forward.
Definitely with the 7th and 8th graders, I think you're absolutely right on. I do that now with the ones that I know that are, I'll call them serious, that they want to play in high school. And, the other day I just told the girl, I said, look, it's January. You have high school tryouts in October. Like this is, that's just a few months away. Right. And they'll have open gyms starting, right. They'll have open gyms in the middle or June or July. Then they'll have, I mean, that's the summer program. Then they'll have open gyms at the start of the school year in August, September-ish time frame. And then, they'll have tryouts in late October, early November. So it's like, okay, if you're serious about playing in high school, it's time to turn it up and get some extra reps in. So, what I do for that age group is I just, I give them a plan, at least a general idea of seriously, like if you want, what do you need to compete in high school? What do you need to do over the summer? And then I go through their strengths and weaknesses.
Right. No, I think that's important. I mean, and again, it's what I would also recommend. I did this with my kids is like, I didn't do that with my son. I had someone else when we were going through stuff. I had one of my assistants or something, just because it would be
definitely
a different voice to hear that. But again, if you remember they're 11, you don't need to have like, a sit down banquet.
No.
People sometimes go a little bit overboard.
Well, I did what I did with when I had my youth team. We did awards just at the end of the year, MVP award, most improved. And I just made up, a few award names based on the team. And I thought, I have this player in mind. So, I'm going to come up with a unique name for that particular player, what their strength was. And then I just printed out little certificates, like the graduation certificates that you can buy at an office store, and I just filled it, office supply store, and just filled their names in, and everybody got it. It was fun, right? And they just talked about each person,
right?
To the group. We had a party, and we just talked about each person. This is the more the younger grades, and we just had that celebration, and then we were done, right? If they wanted more, I gave them more, right? If they want, if they were looking to do, but at that age, they're, if they're in a rec league, CYO league, they're done and on to their next sport, right?
Right. So, and part of it is like, you want a little closure,
right.
But you also want, they're moving on. You got to remember their age level too. It's like, they just soon go to Pizza Hut or do
the
something.
Priority though is got to get them back for next year, right? Yes. Get them excited to play, and the memories that they created on the team, and the how it ends is important. So yeah, absolutely. To just
before we go, I got a couple other points I want to talk about. Let's talk about our sponsor again. Brought to you by
GameChanger. Coaches, go to gc.com/coaching youth hoops. GameChanger is an app that will record, create stats for you. It's AI based, right? As well as parents are entering, rebounds, points per person. It is, if you're coaching a youth program, it is absolutely amazing, and it's free. So gc.com/coaching youth hoops to download your free version.
So tell me what would go into the eval that you would talk to for a kid.
What age group are you talking about?
Let's talk middle school, I think.
So middle school, yeah. So basically, it's not too in depth, but I have a sheet that I go through them, and I write down. It has kind of grading them by their, how well they passed, rebounds, etc. Right. And then with GameChanger, you can just go back and look at all their stats, right? If you're recording it and you're not going off your memory. But again, I don't go into a lot. I think about the sandwich technique, meaning here's the things that you did really well. Here are a few things you can improve upon. And then kind of here's the plan moving forward for you to focus on. And it's very light. It takes a couple, a minute or two. You don't want to spend a lot of time. I would also say it's person dependent. If I know they're a basketball player and they want to play basketball, or at least I'm not a fringe person, or they're just, they're just there for fun and they're after next year and they're not going to play or the next 2 years. But that's kind of how I think about it. And then like I said, we have the award ceremony as well, which I just made up, right?
And as they get older, the gag ones are kind of fun that you could do. Don't let the kids necessarily do them, but those can kind of be fun too. No, I always think, especially at this age, the younger ages, it should fit on a half a sheet of paper, 3 positives to 1 negative, probably 5 positive, negative, if you really want to be truthful. And then the middle schoolers, I tended to get down to 1 sheet of paper. I just wanted it to be precise. Here's what you need. Here's what I saw, blah, blah, blah. Here's places if you need help or how you can get help. I think that's important. I agree.
Yeah. Just some feedback.
Some feedback.
I think that's really healthy for the kids to grow, and it should be a positive experience for them at the end of the year. Again, that your goal is to get them to continue to play.
Yeah, you don't want to
Coach Collins always said.
You don't want to be their last coach. All right. Anything else, Coach?
That's it.
All right, and we got to go over and check out what?
GameChangerGC.com/coaching youth hoops to get your free GameChanger app.
Go get it. Bye.
This podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.